So I've wondered, do you guys actually just want to quit doing the podcast?
We already talked about what we're going to talk about.
We're not going to talk about shit.
I thought that was pretty good, man. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh, I wasn't saying that in response to you, for real. Just, maybe it's time to stop.
That's not the right attitude. You gotta. I've just realized that this is my manifesto, man. This is.
No, for real.
This is how people will hear me.
Call out to the universe.
This is my eternal life. This is what I will be known
When
as.
the FBI has to look into you after
we become serial killers.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, they had a
Not exactly how I thought that was going to go. I was waiting for something like Called,
Mindhunter season 5. Just been listening to this fucking podcast.
Dun dun dun.
We're gonna leave little hints inside the podcast.
Well, no, we
I can
don't.
see it now. There's going to be some
That's
like
the thing, we don't.
FBI
It's just us fucking
Tech
around.
lackey in the basement, and he's just going to have the one headphone on. He's like, Is this guy debating if ants are insects?
Hold on.
I don't remember this.
We haven't become serial killers yet. That's the problem, right?
Oh, okay.
Is that the problem?
Like, hold on. Just we can't start putting hints about our murdering into the podcast until we start murdering. So we have to wait to actually become murderers, and then once we do become the murderers, so like the whole podcast is just actually our descent into madness. Okay, like. Not your average hipsters. This week we're going to be doing the monthly review. We're going to be doing it with Jeremy, Antoine, Zach, and Connor.
All right, that was super fast, bro. I don't know, like.
Do you want me to slow it down for you?
Well,
I'm still an announcer, man. We're back with After Average Hipsters.
No,
this week we're going to be doing our monthly review with Antoine, Zach, Connor, and Jeremy.
You cannot cater to Antoine's will here because you do not have a proportionate perception of time at the moment. I mean,
all I will say is I've been here for every entrance, and that one was fast.
I think that one was fine.
I actually think that was the slowest one yet.
No, well, yeah, the last one.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
So whatever, we had it all up, and we're good to go.
We're in the middle. It's a perfect episode, you guys. Hey, perfect radio, baby.
We're on the last day of March.
All right, but yeah, you said you had something that connected. Let's talk about Shrimp Chex Mix guy.
Boom, Shrimp Chex. I thought it was
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Shrimp in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's been a big meme lately.
Yes.
And it was something that really happened.
What,
so
oops
this
all
says,
tails?
Oops. Yeah. Oops
Yeah.
all shrimp tails.
Yeah, oops all
You're
shrimp
telling
tails.
me a shrimp crunched this cinnamon?
Okay, so like that's what really confused me is are Cinnamon Toast Crunches and shrimps packaged in the same facilities?
Well, no. Here's the thing that happened because there's layers to this story.
Okay,
so it's the thing happens where this guy was like, hey, this is fucked up. There's these shrimps in my cereal. Isn't that wild? Everyone's like, that is wild and funny. And we're going to talk about it. But then they dug into who the guy was. And he's like a social media striver guy who's been trying to go viral for years.
Oh, so this is if I decided
But more so, he had much more of a public record of he wasn't just a poster. He was a guy who had been trying to go viral. And then someone else was like, oh yeah, he was physically or emotionally abusive to me. So you have
wait, no. Okay, no. You're reminding me of parts of the story now. That dude just so happens to be Hillary Duff's husband.
Okay, yeah.
No, or it was
ex or
it might not have been Hillary Duff's husband. It was hold on.
That's a
you
weird...
can continue talking.
But yeah, so it was this thing where it's okay, so we think this guy just threw some fucking shrimp tails in here and tried to make it go viral. Is where I kind of fall on this at this point, where he sort of engineered this viral story.
No, I
think it really happened to him.
No, I think it really did happen to him, and they are literally suing the company.
Imagine if you're allergic to shrimp, you go to eat some Cinnamon Toast Crunch and die. What the fuck happened?
I remember reading about a thing where he's like, I'll send you one of the fucking tails. I'm not sending both of them, so that way you can just fucking gaslight me.
I don't know. I think this guy made this shit up. I think it's too much of a coincidence that he is that kind of fucking social media striver driver
and
guy.
then something like that just happens to him.
I think he engineered this.
I mean, from the way that you described him, Connor, he sounds like the modern internet version of "I married my car. Please pay attention to me."
yeah, something like that.
But like, no. This guy is like actually in Hollywood though. That's the thing. Like, he's a fucking like producer. Like,
Okay.
It might explain why he's
his
trying
name
to
is
go viral.
Jensen Karp. He's a producer,
No, it's
writer,
not.
actor,
Jensen
podcaster.
Karp.
Hold on. Who is he married to?
I like that, like all the things that he
he's
is.
married to Topanga. He's not married to Hillary Duff. He's married to Topanga. That's what it is. He's married to Danielle Fishel. Motherfucking, this dude did not. I don't think he made
I
this up.
think he did.
I don't know.
I still think it's incredibly stupid to try and get this for clout, which is absolutely what he tried to do.
Or maybe he just got shrimp in his fucking
Yeah, I don't know.
cereal.
Just like
They still have to explain, did Jeremy brought up earlier, are they even in the same factory?
Okay, all right. I am
Did
happy.
someone at the factory line just happen to have a nice plate of shrimp cocktail and they left two in? Like, what's going on to put shrimp in the cereal?
This is a tweet from him 7 days ago. I am happy to report a carcinologist, crustacean researcher, that works at NHMLA is going to morphopically identify the shrimp using microscopy. And he will work with a team of researchers to use DNA to try to identify the putative shrimp down
such
the
a
species.
massive waste of time.
Yo,
What a colossal
report
waste
back.
of time and
why are they
resources.
All
DNA
cinnamon?
testing shrimp?
They have like untested rape kits in police stations, but he's got this fucking crustacean
no
researcher to figure out where his goddamn fish came from in his cereal that he put there.
Another tweet from him. Now that I'm just on this tweets,
Yeah.
is anyone tweeting at me to send the entire box to General Mills is a narc. But yeah, no, somebody else that so like because you put it together for me. That's how I was like, wait, no, this guy is actually in Hollywood. The person that he abused was also like a wannabe actress at one point.
Okay.
And he was fucking Harvey Weinsteining her.
Okay.
And then somehow he ended up with Topanga.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Topanga's not a good person then.
Can we like tactically nuke certain parts of LA?
No.
I feel like at this point,
In a hypothetical sense, where the NSA is not just going to take us in the middle of our
Just
sleep
like-
in the middle of the night, yes, you could.
leave
You
out
totally could.
like
hypothetically.
Boyle Heights and where all the like workers and shit live.
That's when you get a.
Yeah, suitcase nuke. But yeah, that was a weird story.
It's a thing.
I mean, I think that it happened. I think it's real. I think if he's going through all that, it's real.
See, I'm on the fence, but I'm kind of like tilting a little more towards Connor here. I think it's a little too coincidental for it to be someone like that.
I mean,
I
that's
feel
what
like it
makes
wouldn't have
more
got as
real.
much hype if it was just a random person.
Maybe not, because if it was a random person, they probably would have just like quashed it. Hey, take it down. Here's like $100,000 fucking dollars. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
But for someone who maybe that they don't view that as enough money, it's a little different in this case. You know what I mean?
You could come off a milli for the shrimp and the cereal, man.
I don't know if you could. I think you're probably looking.
If you're
Hold
General
on.
Mills,
The question is, how much is the shrimp? What is the actual value of the shrimp in the cereal? Emotionally to you, what like the
Dude, this is all contingent on if you talk to them first or if you hired a lawyer to talk to them. That is the contingency here, and I think it becomes exponentially more valuable if you get some Saul Goodman fucking type to get in there.
Okay, so let's make this pitch. All right.
What are we pitching?
Okay, hold on. Listen to my pitch.
He's pitching.
I am a 19-year-old fresh high school graduate. I've taken a year off from school. I am allergic to shrimp. I have bought.
what are you doing right now? Literally, what are you
This
doing?
is taking up so
listen.
much time.
What are you doing?
Okay. I have bought a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I pour my shit. I bite into the motherfucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch. There's shrimp in it.
You don't
have
check
an
your
allergic
cereal
reaction.
bowl before
I have an
you
allergic reaction. How much is it worth for me to have been poisoned by General Mills?
Well, at minimum, that's if you survive the anaphylactic shock of your throat
gonna
swelling up
survive
and
'cause he's
suffocating
lying.
you. It's one at minimum hospital costs.
No, I think you can get
At
them.
minimum, a milli.
You can get them for
No, I'm saying at minimum,
mid six
having
figures.
them cover your stay in the hospital to make sure you don't die from what would possibly, in this hypothetical case, be something of their fault.
Oh, they're going to settle
need
out
a
of court
million,
before
at
they're going to
least.
settle out of court before this thing goes to a jury. Or
Yeah,
anything.
for a million.
That's my point. If this was a regular person, that process would have already happened.
I think they could probably get most normal people for like $100,000, sign an NDA. But if you have a lawyer who actually knows what the fuck is up, you could probably get $1 million.
Okay.
Is my guess. I really have no idea though. Do we want to divert to another entertainment news topic while we're kind of in that ballpark?
What is it?
Did you want to talk about Face Off?
Face Off 2, dude.
Okay.
They're making it. They're making it. So on Twitter, this director, I can't remember his name, but he did the movie The Guest and different horror movie. That is actually very good. I'm looking up his name right now. The Guest is a great film. I don't know if you've seen that one, but said that him and his writing partner are working on a script to Face Off 2, that they would not do a remake because it would be too disrespectful to the original.
It's John Travolta and John.
They have not announced casting yet, but if it's a sequel, I have to imagine they're at least looking at those. I don't think
Who was it in the original?
Nick Cage and
Nick Cage, John Travolta.
And they switched
They
faces.
can definitely get Nick Cage.
They switched
That man
faces,
Nick Cage
right?
has nearly every
Face Off.
movie.
Travolta did Fred Durst's movie. I think you can get fucking Travolta. Like, he did Fred Durst's movie like last year.
Not to mention, you can get Nick Cage for about anything now.
Think we can get Nick Cage on the podcast?
No.
Yes.
I think he has a little more clout than that. But
How about this?
if we could give him $100,000 for a role, he might come in.
Do you
I don't
think,
know.
what
do
I'm
you
hearing
think he
is
would just come on?
we
just
need to
help
get some
us?
money for a box of Tim's Crunch and some shrimp tails, right? Then we can get Nick Cage.
I think that implies that we would have to orchestrate that, and I feel like if
I feel like you just talked about it too.
I got the name. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Name it.
Adam Wingard, who is also directing the coming Godzilla vs. King Kong film.
Okay.
What,
So-
tomorrow?
Can't wait
Coming
for that.
tomorrow?
Is that coming tomorrow?
Yeah, that is the end of March.
Fuck yeah.
Then I'm very excited for that movie.
So you love Face Off too?
I love Face Off.
You're about to get a shirt, a promo shirt.
I'm about to get a promo shirt, Face Off 2.
Yeah, I want to see you in it.
All I'm saying is I like this guy's other work, and I think that this is a film that is very the original film is very dear to me, and
I was gonna say it's very much a cult classic at this
it's
point.
John Woo's American movie he got to make after making the second Mission Impossible. That was the deal: is you get to make this franchise film, and then you get your own vision. So he got to make this weird Chinese movie in America.
Face off, face off.
Classic lines. I'll take your face off. Truly acting powerhouse. I don't know. Do you guys have more to say about this?
Oh, no, I've never seen the first Face Off.
I've never seen the
I don't
first Face Off
have-
either.
Oh man, we got to fix that sometime.
I don't really have much hype for
I've
the
never seen
second
the
Face
full
Off.
thing. The only bit I've seen was the one that you showed me, like from the beginning, where like they had the fight in the plane, and
Yeah, that rocks. But there's even weirder shit going on. It's
I feel
they
like
take
we've
each other's
talked about
faces off. I understand there's weirder shit through that movie.
I feel like we've talked about the movie Face Off several times on this podcast.
I feel like once.
Nobody's ever watched it on the podcast.
okay.
And on the movie note,
Okay.
Zack Snyder,
Yeah.
4-hour long Justice League.
I watched it. Did you?
Yep, whole thing.
What do you think?
I think pretty good.
That's about what I think too.
Pretty good. I fell asleep a couple times, but that you know, whatever.
I was in that right zone of being drunk where I was like kind of focused the whole time through.
Oh, well, I watched it over days.
Oh no, I watched it one
Like once
sitting,
I started
man.
falling asleep, that's pause time. Then we'll pick it back up tomorrow.
Well, the one thing that kind of pissed me off about it is they had chapters in there. Like the guy should have just made like a TV show. Like he already had like little like 30-minute chapters.
and the chat, yeah, it should have been a limited series.
Yeah.
And the chapter names were fucking ass.
Oh, they were so stupid. Everything
like,
about
not
that.
this time, Mr. Wayne. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
what the fuck am I about to see in this chapter? What the fuck is like for the first 5 minutes of that chapter? I couldn't do nothing but think of like the name. Not
Well-
this time, Mr. Wayne.
Here's my thing about it. I don't think this is like, I don't think I'm treading over any new territory here, but Zack Snyder has aesthetic and artistic vision. I just think his taste is really bad. So like, it's going to be interesting because he
Are you
actually,
trying to compliment him or like dig at him? Because I don't know which
Both.
one that was.
he like, unlike a lot of the people who direct the Marvel movies and like not all of them, but a lot. People who direct the Marvel movies and like the other DC movies, it's sort of like soulless. But on this, there was a soul. It was just kind of gross. Like,
All right.
it was not.
Okay, I feel you on that. I felt the same way about Batman versus Superman. I didn't watch the new Justice
Oh, you mean
League.
Orphan Fight?
Yeah, well, okay. So I the way I feel about that whole movie is just like it. Yeah, gross. It was not a good movie. It like a lot of Jesus symbolism and shit. Like
he's not
weird.
The what I will say this movie did great was set up a movie where Superman just goes like rogue and fights all the other superheroes, because that would be the greatest movie.
It's the only interesting thing you can really do with Superman, like outside of a couple storylines I've had over the years, is like, well, he's the Superman. He's gonna win. He's the best man.
So wait, does it seem like they're gonna with the end of it? Does it seem like they're gonna set up for like the Injustice storyline?
So no, not really. But they set that up. They set it up as like a sort of like, without saying too much spoilers, I guess. They sort of set it up in a way where that's kind of the conflict. Really, is will Superman like stick with us or will he go rogue? I
But
guess.
if he goes rogue, they're fucked.
Yeah, there's like no way we win if he's like...
That motherfucker is ridiculous.
If he goes rogue, like, does that entail like him being like a Nazi essentially, or is it like
sort of? They don't go
he's
Nazi
just
imagery,
destroy the Earth,
basically. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like
Earth.
in the first like Man of Steel movie where they introduced Henry Cavill as Superman, they damn near destroyed the fucking Earth through the movie.
And yeah, they talk a little bit about that. I don't know. It's like, it's very all over the place. It's very dumb. What do you think about when they introduced the Martian Manhunter at the end? The CGI green guy in the credits or before the credits?
I was gonna say I didn't see him throughout the trailer. I was wondering if they were gonna have him.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm a shapeshifter and I was here the whole time. Wow, I'm joining up with you guys now.
That's
it was like
fucking
the most
hilarious.
thrown
That
in
sounds-
bullshit in the world.
That sounds super shitty.
The end of the movie was weird. As
It
fuck.
just
Just made
movie sucked.
Martian
It made-
Manhunter sound like a fanboy.
I was
like,
coming out of
guys,
that movie at like
I'm
a
your
real
roadie now.
good, like 1 thumbs up, like, I don't know, like 7 out of 10. Like, this is pretty good. And then the end credits, like, come the fuck on. Or the epilogue, I guess, not the credits, but the, you got to see Jared Leto Joker reprise his role.
Oh, yeah?
Very briefly.
Yeah, horrible.
He did not say we live in a society in the actual movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just for the trailer.
Man, that's so dumb.
He
I
did-
hate when they have things in the trailer that are
not
never in the movie.
Yeah, he got...
I like when companies do that. That's fun.
Apparently, he got laser surgery to take care of his face tattoos. He no longer has them.
The Joker was about to turn a new leaf over. About to get these face tats off.
But that, yeah, it's really a movie that shouldn't bear the discussion it gets, but I can't stop thinking and talking about it.
But you did say it was a 7 out of 10.
I'd probably say closer to a 6 if I'm really putting a number on it. But like, I enjoyed my time.
Did you watch the original Justice League?
No.
Did you watch the original Justice League?
Yeah, it was poop.
Okay, so what would you give the original Justice League on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like 4.
And the new Justice League?
Like a 7.
That's a solid 3 steps up.
And what
It
else?
was a rated R 7. You know
lot
what
of
I'm saying? They dog some shit in the action
There's some
scenes.
there's some competently framed action in there. There's like somehow the length makes it more watchable rather than less watchable. I don't know. It's
It doesn't
weird.
feel like it's
some of
too
the
rushed
action is
through.
cool, man.
Yeah.
It feels like a natural cohesion from scene to
You
scene.
know what it is? It's
Who's the main villain in this?
Darkseid, right?
Steppenwolf, who's like Darkseid's
Darkseid's
uncle.
fucking
This is
bitch ass.
dark uncle.
It's Darkseid's fucking slave, basically.
It's his fail uncle.
His fail uncle?
Like, he's a
yeah.
bitch.
So Darkseid's a bitch in this case?
No,
No,
Darkseid's
Dark-
a savage.
Yeah,
But
he's
that's
like
the whole point of like that's his whole interpretation. He
But
rules over
the other dude's
Apocalypse.
like trying
a
to
million
win
years
his
ago, his uncle like came at him and lost, and then he's like, "You got to conquer all these worlds for me, and you never get to like be in my court or whatever." And he's like, "Fine,
Okay,
whatever."
so he kicked his uncle's ass, and now his uncle works for him essentially.
yeah.
Well, he slaves it out for him.
They introduced my favorite dipshit comic book concept, which is the anti-life equation,
I've heard about that. and
which
it's
is
so
a
weird.
math concept that just like turns people evil, I guess, or kills them or something.
It,
They
it
don't
makes
live.
them like edgy and depressed, and they're like,
I will
"Yeah,
say
fuck
the-
it, let's burn the sun."
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's called it's a math problem.
Like it's weird.
Like is it like you see it on a chalkboard and you just become evil? Like is that how it works?
I think
like,
it's hard to explain because it's like supposed to be a super big secret, but Darkseid is only one of the few people has it. And like the few times they talk about it, it's like it's 2-part hatred, 1 part sorrow, or like some weird like mixture like that. And you're like making a fucking depression cake of hatred.
I read like the comic book Wikipedia page for it because I thought the name was so funny after I was done with the movie that it's basically like you see it. Like you see the whole thing and you get so depressed because you realize that like the universe is meaningless or something.
So what are you saying?
The equation that the universe is actually just based on? Like,
something like that.
Basically, it's just a shorter version of having somebody read like work from Nishi.
I guess.
Instant nihilism. Go fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Until you said it, I completely forgot that was a thing in DC.
Yeah, there's all this stupid cosmic DC bullshit in there.
You guys ready to talk about something thick?
Are you talking about a big boat?
That big thick boat blocking the Suez Canal, baby.
So,
I was actually going to bring that up anyway. So good segue.
What happened there?
Okay, so pretty much. My band's boat started malfunctioning. To borrow a joke that I seen from a meme, drew a dick in
it did draw a dick in the canal.
In the canal.
Like,
and then,
you know, like the GPS thing, like where you can plot like a path. There's like a dick drawn in the GPS plot.
And then he fucking parked his shit sideways in the motherfucking...
From what I heard, the controls themselves started malfunctioning. And as it was going through the canal itself, it was like bouncing back side to side. And eventually it just got completely fucking wedged in the middle there.
Yeah, there's...
And as it like got caught, I guess it fucked up the buoyancy. And with it, like it started moving some of the silt and sediment underneath it. So it was basically just fucking beaching the thing there.
Some of the funniest fucking pictures I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, they're great.
Like the one little fucking excavator looking up at the giant boat. It's like, wow, that is that's something.
What was it? The new Google like flight simulator. They modded that boat in there. So while like people are flying around in the like planes or helicopters, they're seeing this giant fucking ship just clogging the canal.
Oh fuck, that's hilarious.
I wonder,
it's still there in the game.
I wonder how much this disrupted the global cocaine trade.
I got some numbers for just global trade in general.
See, we were talking about mass earlier. Let's hear the numbers.
Like marble statues filled with fucking coke though that are on that boat.
I was gonna say, like, from what I've understood, like with this boat getting caught, it just fucked up the entire stock market like immediately because hedge funds were just dropping everything they had.
It was essentially like it's like 20% of the overall like trade in the world was blocked by this fucking boat. like who would have known that capitalism's greatest enemy was just one big dummy thick boat?
I like the meme that was someone going like, How could Karl Marx have predicted that all it took to stop global capitalism was one boat? And then literally someone found like the reading companion to Capital Volume 2 that was, well, you can see instances can occur such as the Suez Canal being blocked. Or
what the fuck? No. That's wild.
Like, it wasn't actually him, but it was definitely like someone interpreting his work or whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
So, what were you about to say?
Numbers.
Yeah, we had some numbers for us.
It was 9.9 billion every day. That like
how long was it there? About a week?
Yeah. That's it. That's like, and from the source that I read, that was low estimates. Like
that's
so conservative numbers.
Yeah,
because it's like one boat that has a million things on it, but it's also every single boat that can't get past.
Oh yeah. Except for the companies that must have been like, I don't know if they were like able to like charge more for those that like went around the Horn of Africa way at the bottom. Because like I actually saw a meme where it was like the blocked like Suez Canal where it's like reject new ways, follow old tradition. It's just like going around.
Which is funny because even like in like the 1800s, like what do you call that? Like East India Company times and shit. They weren't even making that trip around the Horn of Africa. They were dropping it off and like ferrying it by land across that where the Suez Canal would later go.
That's
like,
crazy.
Like no one.
I mean, it was just easier. They had the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Right. Suez Canal goes to Mediterranean.
Yep.
I'm not messing that up. Okay.
You're correct. And then the other funny joke I saw that someone made was like the first boat to go down that thing after the ship gets unstuck has to make the decision to make the funniest joke in the world or not.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. That shit would be hilarious if it immediately got blocked again.
But like,
I also seen, since we're just on, we're apparently, when we do our monthly review, this is actually just meme news. We're just bringing you the latest of the memes.
The latest of the memes a month late.
Yeah, a month late, right. In Florida, there was another boat that blocked the highway.
Yeah, that came up from the...
it was still the evergreen one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Almost blocked in the same exact fashion.
Right, but it was like a tiny boat. Like,
And it was on a
big boat.
highway.
Yeah, it was on a highway. And somebody was like, are the boats unionizing? Like,
The boats are coming for us.
What was it? I keep seeing like all the pictures of like the actual like engineering teams that helped get the boat back out. By the way, it's like a crew of like 15 to 20 fuckers that is essentially fixing the world economy.
right.
With a backhoe and some shovels. One, crazy. But two, like, their faces are everywhere now, but at the end of the day, they're going to go back to their homes and they're still going to be, and like, the next job will be like, hey, we need you to like dig up these pipelines.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's their job. To dig.
I get it, but like, going from like, hey, we're going to add some like new drainage over here, and over here it's like, we need you to save the world economy.
I want $500 million.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, hey,
Like, if
this is
there's
about to be
ever
a
a
fat
time to make a union, that was it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Architects Union, real quick, Architects Union.
Does anybody know
real
the,
fucking leverage right there.
Does anybody know the conspiracy of this all?
No, what's the conspiracy?
So the conspiracy was that there was so much hassle and shit, and they were trying so hard to get it undone because this was a Hillary and Bill shipment.
Were there like children on it?
Yeah, there's
supposedly?
children in the
God.
in the cart in the shipping containers,
Yeah.
and a key hint to this was the name actually Evergreen, which was Hillary Clinton's CIA covert name.
Oh, that was her like Secret Service name?
Yeah, her Secret Service name was
A
Evergreen.
shitty Secret Service name.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, there's kids in there. No, and and then all the frazzle drip and shit started to make a comeback.
It was actually like a Wire season 2 scenario where the children in the box got the wind pipe, or they got the air pipe caved in and just all died in the back of a shipping container.
It was actually Hillary and Wayfair.
It was all the couches.
It was all the $1 million couches on that boat.
You mean all the little Susie couches?
Yeah. It was full of model Timothy and Susan fucking furniture.
Yeah.
So that's probably like some QAnon shit.
It was actually the world's largest shipment of pizza ingredients was on the boat. It was all ingredients to make cheese pizza.
That boat is actually owned by Comet Ping Pong.
Yeah.
Fucking Wayfair and the Clinton Foundation jointly.
Look it up.
Look it up, right. Just look it up. It's an actual fact that you can Google. Thank you.
George Soros was actually owner of the shipping company.
Little known fact, George Soros actually bought the Suez Canal 30 years ago.
This was all staged.
Yeah. If you'll watch this 60-hour YouTube documentary, you'll finally understand.
That is essentially how I be approaching people on the internet. I'm like, hey, will you read this 6-hour audiobook for me? Like, what? No. I will not. Just let me propagandize to you, please.
All right, what else happened this month?
Jeff Bezos is a union buster.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that one, but specifically...
I mean, obviously. Jeff Bezos' training video for the managers tells them that they have to do whatever to like make people think that unions are bad because unions go against what makes them good, which is how fast they can deliver stuff and their good customer service. Because if there's a union, obviously people are going to get more breaks and stuff, and they're not going to go get fired.
Yeah. So he's basically kind of giving up the ghost. Their whole business model is built on like exploitation of people at like an individual level, and that's unsustainable if they actually have to like give them breaks or pay them better, treat them better.
Exactly. That's why they have such a high turnover rate there.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, I'm gonna say, when the fuck was J.P. Morgan fucking reincarnated?
I don't know, in the 80s, dude. It's like where all these fucking tech dipshits came from.
I love that. Like, have you guys been seeing any of the fake like Twitter accounts coming out?
Yeah, talk to me about that a little bit, because that shit's insane. You're talking about the ones that are like the people, like it's like Karen at Amazon Fulfillment Center.
Yeah, okay. So like this one that I got pulled up is Darla at GYR1.
Yeah,
is her Twitter name. And her handle is Amazon FC Darla.
And they always have like cardboard box emojis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one is, what bothers me most about unions is there's no ability to opt out of dues. As a single mother with 2 boys, I'm barely scraping by as it is. And now unions want to come to Amazon and make me pay them a piece of my salary? No thanks. And then the fucking person that is like responding is like, I always like to put my employer's name in my Twitter handle because I am a real person who definitely exists.
Also,
like,
let's talk about the argument
That's
here,
what they said.
which is like this.
Well, that's what somebody like.
That's
like,
who was
they
trolling
quote,
them.
They quote tweeted him. His name is speculation.
This group that would come in and help us get better health care and higher wages is bullshit because they don't pay me enough.
Yeah, no. Okay. All right. So, like, I also seen some other, like, I don't know if this was specifically put out by Amazon, but this was just general anti-union propaganda that I encountered in, like, my day-to-day life. And
Okay.
it was like the average amount.
$700 a year for union dues. Do you know how many fucking games you can buy with $700 throughout the year?
It's average amount of union dues, $700.
Yeah.
Average game system, $700. You decide what's better for you.
Where did you see this?
It was literally just on Facebook as I was scrolling through it, like from like
I've seen
it was in
I've
one of the
seen it too.
dipshit fucking because I've told you I joined a bunch of conservative groups to keep up with with what's going on in the.
If you're on Facebook, that's the thing you got to do.
Right, 100%. You got to see what the mouth breathers are really thinking over there.
Yeah.
And like the people that were responding underneath it were like, yeah, no, for sure. Like really don't give all unions do is take your money and then they pay out a president and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was wild. I was like, wow, you guys really have bought the line, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, it's in fucking like 10 years when everyone realizes that the business model you're at is fully unsustainable. You can either have a union that'll give you like severance and fucking like
A pension, depending on what you go
or
into.
whatever, or you could just get kicked to the street like it never fucking happens. You decide. But yeah, and it's specifically the warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama is the one voting to unionize.
Oh, word. Okay.
I think they're voting today or yesterday.
Oh, that's one of the other things I want to talk about.
And I don't know where the news isn't in yet, but it will be soon as to whether this is successful union action.
Jeff Bezos had all of the the potential union organizers abducted last night and black bagged. Like,
Yeah.
They were 2 days shipped to this middle of Sahara.
Yeah, for real.
Well,
for real.
There's a story I heard about coal miners unionizing back in the day, where they were told to for their break to get on a truck, or maybe it was a train car, but they're basically rounded at gunpoint onto a train car by Pinkertons and just taken like fucking 40 miles away and dropped off.
That sounds
That's how they used to do shit.
that sounds exactly like Pinkerton's on some real shit.
Yeah.
On
An
some real
agency
fucking
that
shit.
still exists.
Fuck you, Pinkertons.
Oh, fuck the Pinkertons.
Oddly enough,
You know
the
that
company
they
still exists.
And they're suing Rockstar for making them the villains in their game.
They actually, the lawsuit got thrown out.
Oh, did it?
Because at this point, Pinkertons are a part of American history, and this is depicting something that has existed.
Oh, word.
It's kind of like if the current company that owns like the rights to the Stetson like cowboy hat being like, you guys can't have those hats in the game.
Yeah.
It's a fucking cowboy game. There's going to be fucking cowboy hats.
Jimmy
Pinkertons
Stetson
were
hats.
real.
Yeah.
They were real. They were bad. They did horrible things.
We don't they were real. We'll admit that, but they were nice.
Oh no, they didn't care about that. They're like, fuck, they're going to use our name. We want royalties. That's all they were arguing for. They didn't care how they were depicted.
As John Union Buster III,
By the way, they're a private security company at this point. So like if the place where like the ex like Marines where they want to continue
Yeah, they're like
doing
a
bad
Blackwater,
shit.
essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They'll join the current version of the Pinkertons, and God only knows what the fuck they actually do now.
Yeah. Like those companies never went away. We just saw less of them.
You're right, because if anything, at this point, they're probably being like shipped down to the Amazon to like clear out like indigenous tribes
Oh,
for
yeah, for
logging
sure.
camps.
They don't really care about
bust unions.
SEO.
Oh no, they don't. Yeah.
The people that Amazon did actually hire, I remember they hired a bunch of ex-CIA people to be like their anti-union squad. That they're specifically looking for data analysts, which I think an analyst is what you call a fucking Fed. Like you call a CIA, FBI agent to like analyze data about their employees' habits. And they hired those positions. They had them up as like positions to be filled for a while.
Lit.
So that
Hardcore monitoring by Big Brother.
yeah. Did you guys see the patent they had for the worker cage?
No,
what?
So it was like
Elaborate.
it was like they filed a patent, or maybe they were about to file. I don't know what stage, but it came out of there is this idea for this like motorized cage with an arm on it, so they wouldn't have to like get out ever or anything.
So, or you're essentially saying a forever cubicle with little robot arms so they can do their work.
Yeah, basically.
Huh.
Like the warehouse industrial version of that.
See, that just seems like an extra step to have robots that have like meaty centers.
Yeah.
Robots with soft center.
Yeah, like I said, meaty
Soft centered
centers.
robot? Is that what you want? Or you want a full hard shell robot?
Full robot. I want the robot to do everything. I want to be
Yeah, here
Wall-E.
we go. I found a picture of the patent for the worker cage.
I need to see this.
Yeah, pass this around.
What the literal fuck? This is that a Amazon original or who's
I
is
think
that?
Amazon patented it.
Oh, fucking course.
Man, it just looks like pretty much like a CO station.
But you're not allowed out.
I don't understand what the point of this thing is, man.
You're a robot.
Like, why not just, automate it at that
Okay,
point?
so
Like,
the
seriously.
only thing I can even see that being useful is like, have any of you actually been in one of the Amazon plants?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how there's like that middle area where they have like the giant Roombas moving all like the large stacks? The only reason I can
This
see...
is picking up the Roombas? The giant Roombas?
No, having somebody in there so that way they're not getting fucking crossed to death by the Roombas like going back and forth. But that's redundant because the Roombas are already fucking moving everything around. So I have no
I
fucking
don't know, maybe
idea.
it's just something they patented it so they could have it patented. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
no, okay, all right. So
It's
those
just
of
like
you out
somebody
there-
like, hey, look what I invented.
I know you guys can't see it, but what it is it's literally just a cage with like an arm. And it,
robot
and a
arm.
controller.
It's not even a robot arm.
A joystick.
It's a arm with
it
like
looks
a
like
claw.
something you would see out of like a Victorian era factory, like where they had designs for things that just looked wrong. They look like they were just designed to hurt people.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how Jeff Bezos employee cages will look in 2018.
I said it earlier. Like, essentially, what Amazon is now is essentially what workers in like the 1800s had to
Oh, yeah,
fucking go
you
through.
did say who reincarnated J.P. Morgan.
Like,
He's more like-
they're probably doing very similar hours if
Yeah,
you
this
really
was
want to
patented
argue
in
about it.
2016. They haven't implemented it yet. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's getting implemented.
Yeah, because the
But
newer
if
design
there's
is
a way
going to have
you
a
want
little
to stop
spritz bottle
employees
with lemon
talking
water
to each other
to
and
squirt
like
into the
getting
employee's
together,
eyes so they
Put
can
them in
cry more.
cages.
separate weird vehicles will
Yeah.
certainly help with that.
For sure.
Or
You-
just give them a time limit to do everything.
you will build no
They
relationships.
already do that.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah. Okay.
that was their they're like, well, if we put them in cages, they're definitely going to talk shit. So let's just time them. Give them 2 minutes to do every fucking task we give them. If you fail that
It
3
even
times, fired.
It even buzzes you. Like, hey, you're not on
They
task.
put a shock
What do you?
collar
Yeah, I
on
was
you.
gonna say this is like a
basically.
little cattle prod that like just pops out occasionally.
Yeah, it's a fucking bracelet that you wear.
There was some sad news this month.
Oh, well, some sadness.
Cleveland lost a champion, the UFC heavyweight champion. That was from Euclid.
Stipe.
Stipe.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stipe got knocked the fuck out. It's pretty sad.
I saw
Very sad
him
to
do
watch.
like I don't know if you call it a press conference, where it was just like a FaceTime type or like a forward facing video from his house. And he has a life size Deadpool statue with UFC belts on it.
Hey, my
I thought
man.
that was very Midwest represent. That was
It was sad just because he's a good dude. Like in
I would
general.
say like out of all ways to frivolously spend extra money, it's not the worst way anyone could have done it.
yeah. He seems you can tell he's a hometown boy seeing that one.
I mean, he still firefights in his off season.
Yeah, he sounds
Like as a champ, 7-time undefeated. Well, now defeated once champion.
He's trying to get like a
he was undefeated?
As a champion, yeah.
single leg take down the fire. Just like
He was the longest reigning UFC heavyweight champion.
Wow.
And then he got knocked out by a dude that deserved it. He was homeless like 13 months ago, I think.
so he's just a guy who knew how to
Or
fight.
3 years ago, he was homeless. This is his 13th
I was about to
fight.
say, like, my man went from homeless to
I'm
winning.
sorry, this
UFC
joke might be a
champion.
in
little
3
bit
years,
poor
though.
taste. So he was taken out by an actual Street Fighter?
Well, he wasn't street fighting.
Did he do Hadouken?
He punched the shit out of him one time. Like, the dude looks like the Hawk. Like, he's so big. The
Okay.
dude that beat him. Like,
Yeah.
he made Stipe look like a little guy. And that dude's big, too.
What weight class were they?
Heavyweight.
Okay.
But he was like 30 pounds heavier than Stipe.
Oh, okay. That's,
Oh,
that's pretty
that's
sizable.
considerable.
Solid muscle.
I'm assuming he had a larger
Like
reach.
the dudes that have the like back muscles, like like there's a muscle that like you didn't
mean
even
the
know
ones
you
yeah,
had.
where you could put like a sticky note like on the back and they'll
Yeah,
never
it's
be
like-
able to grab it?
You guys got that thing so big, I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, yeah, like it's not even the back muscle; it's like on the shoulder.
It's like a shoulder blade back.
Yeah. It's
Press.
like, when do you unlock that? What level does that unlock at?
Yeah, how much CrossFit do I need to do to figure that one out?
Yeah, so like I was like happy for the dude that won because he went from homeless to champion, but then I was just sad because like
We lost a local.
we lost a local champion.
I feel like that's hard.
That was doing champions, like being a champion the right way, like coming back, still working in the community,
Yeah.
still helping people. He wasn't like Conor McGregor
He
champion.
didn't go to
like,
Vegas, do a bunch of coke.
I'm gonna get drunk and fuck the whole city up every night.
Well, like, I don't know a lot
He
about
actually
UFC,
came
but
back and
like,
just saved people.
once you're kind of knocked out, is that kind of your career, or
Well,
does he
never
still
Stipe,
have?
man, because
I
like
was gonna say if that's his first loss, I feel like he still has plenty of
People
career
love
left.
that dude.
That man, Conor McGregor, has lost many fights at this point.
Okay.
Conor McGregor lost like his last 3 fights.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the career trajectories of these fighters are like.
It depends on how much he wants to keep fighting.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I feel like the more famous they get, the more they start doing like these off-brand commercials or appearances. That's when they start going down. Because like,
Shit, man, if I could get like $1 million for like being in a commercial versus getting my head knocked in, I know which I'd pick.
For sure.
Especially if you're in the heavyweight division.
Yeah,
like,
those
that's
guys
the
hit hard
worst
as
one.
fuck.
Yeah, you're like fighting a fucking tank.
I was gonna say,
I'm
like
gonna
for a
stand
while,
next
like
to the guy-
Ronda
the-
Rousey was like supposedly to be the big thing, and then she started doing all those movie bits, and then she eventually got her shit rocked, and now she does what? WWE, right?
I think she's out of that.
Already?
Oh yeah, it didn't.
She
last
got out of
long.
there because people like were too aggressive.
Also, she sucked. She was like the worst wrestler.
I mean, she was pretty good at first until people until the women's division started like getting bigger.
Yeah, until they actually hired women who knew how to wrestle.
Yeah.
Then it was like, oh no, this can't.
Air quote, wrestle.
Hey,
I mean, UFC,
Hey.
they're
Hey,
wrestling.
nothing.
I mean, in UFC, they're really fighting.
Like that's
Yes.
a real wrestler.
yeah, it's a fully
Yes.
different skill set. Is what I'm saying.
100%. No,
Not-
for sure.
not comparable.
For sure.
Like, there's only a couple of wrestlers that have ever crossed over one way or the other. It's like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock. That
And
was
that's
that
just because
dude.
he's so fucking massive.
Yeah, he's so big. He's another
a
dude
giant
that had the
head tits.
back muscles, man.
Yeah, all he did, like, he just had the right physique, and he's like a dumb enough guy where it's like, I can do.
That's the
fucking
guy with the
professional
giant,
fighting.
like, fucking, like, dagger
Yeah,
going
yeah,
through his
he's
tits,
like-
right?
I found a video of him online shooting a 50 caliber BMG at gophers on his property. Like, he's a big time idiot.
I'm sorry, but, like,
He's
every
like
single time I see
anti-tank
that guy
rifle
without a
shit on,
shirt,
like,
all I see is these,
groundhogs.
like, cafeteria lunch trays that are just, like, his fucking pecs on his chest. They're just giant, flat. I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
weird
he
to see
has
him.
like 1 billion acres in like North Dakota or Montana or something, and like no one ever sees him
Well,
unless he's
I
doing.
mean, what else would you spend all your WWE money on when you're a big hillbilly? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like-
no, I get it, but also like that's the kind of guy he is. By all accounts, he's great because
Again, out of all ways to frivolously spend money, that's also not a bad way at all.
you can definitely tell if he like wants to be there when he's pro wrestling or not, because he will just like do absolutely fucking nothing for guys he doesn't like. Just like, no, I'm just gonna like pretend to beat you up this whole thing, and we're gonna leave in 5 minutes. And,
So
I was gonna say I got some. The whole new Georgia voting laws that came through.
new Georgia voting laws. What do they do?
Really? I'm not
Yeah, no.
surprised. I'm the
talk
only
to
one
me.
here. Okay, so Georgia recently passed laws that are basically restricting how the voting process works. Things as such of they are putting so many more like hoops that you got to jump through for like mail-in voting. Things like when you're standing in line, you can't have like
you can't serve them
you can't
water.
like serve them food or water. And again, we're talking about areas where it's low income and there's only one place for you to vote in like the nearest like 5-mile radius because they're restricting how many places can accept ballots. And if someone like gives you some water because you've been in line for fucking 5 hours, you can go fuck yourself. It's either use your American right to vote or go through dehydration and possibly get sick. And again, this is Georgia. I know that normally
you
voting
could bring your own water.
is in like November. You can, but that's not the point.
It's fucked up what they're doing, but I'm saying like...
Look, voting should not have the
harder.
same fucking line as like... someone who doesn't want to get the fast pass at fucking Cedar Point.
Yeah,
okay.
It is kind of it introduces more of a pay to play thing where if you're the kind of guy who can like take a couple hours off work to stand in line,
then you can vote.
But if you're like working at McDonald's or have to pick up your kids from school, then you probably don't have a chance to vote.
Or say, for example, you're one of the few people like out of high school. It's like, yeah, I actually want to vote. There's a bunch of fucked up shit I want to get fixed. Yeah.
I think it's also some nefarious shit where like they're only reducing the amount of polling places in like the inner city.
Yeah.
In addition, along with all this fucked up shit, one of the elected officials was arrested for knocking on the governor's door while they were like signing all of this.
Oh yeah, 100%. Felony. She was given a felony.
She was given a felony for knocking on the governor's door while this was going. An elected official who should have some right in this.
That's pretty wild.
That is wild.
They're tripping in Georgia.
I mean, again, JP Morgan's back. Jim Crow slowly is trying to get its way back in. Like, what the fuck?
We're just
gonna start going through the Industrial Revolution again. I feel like we're getting ready to it because like
it's evolving.
I have to keep arguing with dumb motherfuckers. Like somebody was arguing with me today that the EPA is what caused the Ohio River to catch on fire, and I was like, the EPA was created literally 1 year after the Ohio River caught on fire. Do you wonder why the EPA was created? Maybe that year rivers were catching on fire, so they created the fucking EPA. You goddamn idiot! Like,
look, I'm gonna say it right now. I give it like 20 years time before we're all back, like with like shields, and we all have horses, and we gotta siege the castle because there's not enough grain to go around.
Well, see, I think that's the thing. I think people are like, this whole climate change thing is going to turn back the clock forever. But I think what it's actually going to do is just make so much of the world unlivable that we're going to have these massive fucking population crises like we saw with Syrian refugees, especially in Europe. It's just going to be like that, but every single year on a much larger scale forever.
And everything here, like Ohio and shit like this, gonna become stupid valuable. Guarantee it.
So much farmland's gonna disappear because it's gonna be new towns.
There was some good news though.
Let's hear it.
In March, Mr. Biden, he didn't let the kids out the cages, but he did forgive $20 million worth of student loans.
Yeah,
which is cool.
What are the stipulations on that?
Don't know the stipulations.
Okay, 'cause I remember there being some pretty big.
Yeah, so it was like forgiving student loans for those that have been like victimized by student loan companies, not in the sense of like, oh, they're just charging interest, but like things like how like the whole Trump University went through, where like people are trying to get like actual degrees there, and they're basically like, hey, you got loans. Okay, you didn't get your degree. Oh, we're not scheduling classes. Oh, we don't actually have teachers. It's like or universities doing shady shit like that, where it's like, oh yeah, they totally fucked you over, and what they did is horrible.
So like maybe 1% of all student loans.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it was still $20 million.
He said up to $20 million. That doesn't mean they're actually going to forgive $20 million. They gave it a cap. Doesn't mean they actually expect to get there.
And this was like I remember Kamala Harris during the primaries had this insane idea about student loan forgiveness that like, if you were a Pell Grant recipient who went on to work in like impoverished communities of color, then we can forgive a portion of your student loan. So there's always going to be all this bullshit on top of it, because that's like maybe like 3 people in the country.
Right. 100%.
And if you are that person, that's great. And you should get your student loan forgiven, but so should everybody.
But to give props where they're due, I will say, I agree with what Antoine said. He did do something.
Something is a start.
Not without saying that Joe Biden was a key person in the part where they scheduled student loan debt so you can't declare bankruptcy on it.
Yeah, that was kind of his fault.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So that's the reason why that debt sticks around so much more than like every other kind of debt.
It's kind of like if like Antoine punched you in the face, but it's like, cool, here's the ice pack.
Yeah.
Immediately right after.
Next week, he gives you a nice pack.
Next week. Right. Not immediately right after. It was a 14-year period.
Myanmar? All the
Do
craziness
we have
going
the
over there?
capacity to talk about Myanmar?
Okay, so some things happened in Myanmar
Oh, okay.
where there was a coup.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about the coup. Maybe Zach knows a little bit more, but there is, coup things happened.
Cool things.
Not cool things, coup things.
Yeah, coup things.
Very separate line.
Yeah, cool things happen.
All right. So again, I have very small understanding what's going on over there just because there is a media blackout going over there where they're actively trying to prevent obviously the citizens from reporting and like letting know what the fuck's actually happening. So it started in February for anybody that saw the one video where the one girl was doing her like online Zumba class in front of like the main parliament building. And right behind her was basically literally the military performing a coup on parliament itself. That's when everything really started kicking off for the rest of the world to see. Now, the Democratic Party that was overthrown, keep in mind, at no point in time were they actually good people because they were under scrutiny from the UN for literally committing forms of genocide on various portions of their population.
But wasn't the leader arrested for having like 4 walkie-talkies on her or some shit?
Oh, yeah, no.
Like just walkie-talkies you weren't legally allowed to have?
There's a lot of bullshit that's going on here. So,
I mean,
unfortunately,
that's how you get arrested.
I'm incapable of saying some of the names at this point in time, but the previous chairman of state, granted, she was not the prime minister because apparently you can't be a prime minister if you've had children that are not native born. But she's essentially was the prime minister by all means necessary and from how everyone viewed it. She was actually putting policies through to try to get military out of parliament. Not as in getting rid of the military, but having the point where the military is not able to start passing laws saying what can and go on.
Yeah, so you're getting rid of Senator Army.
Yeah,
Word,
exactly.
okay.
It became kind of obvious it's a bad thing to have the people who are meant to enforce the laws and make those same laws at the same time having seats in both spots.
Right.
The commander of the military itself, who has pretty much lofty goals of eventually being the president, realized, well, if this fucking happens, I'll never get to be the president. Hence the reason why the coup was performed. Now, the state chairman, she was arrested, and I'm not exaggerating here, for possession of 6 walkie-talkies for some reason that she was not allowed to have. And because of that, she was detained. No one's heard anything from her. And since then, the coup started. Now, citizens of Myanmar have been having their own protests. They've evolved from peaceful to it's as the current point now where it's kind of like, I don't want to say purge, but they're literally making
They're
like
turning the fuck up. They're blowing up buses.
no, like they're literally at the point where there are people
really
going
blow
the
a
street
bus?
with I don't know about the
think
bus.
they're burning buses.
They are definitely burning shit. Tons of shit.
Like, I think that's the first public thing they started
But
burning.
it is up to the point where they're literally like doing like Spartan methods of like performing shield walls with makeshift shields of like various plastic and stolen police riot shields. At the same time, they're literally having people with bow and arrows launch arrows at the riot police that are holding the line itself. Granted, it is literally people with firearms going up against citizens who are essentially using guerrilla warfare techniques from the 1600s.
Right.
But at the same time, they are using guerrilla warfare techniques against the state police, essentially. And at the same time, slowly, there's like occasional videos where like you'll watch like riot police drop their shield from the police line and then they join the other side on camera.
Wow. That's cool.
Like there are people that are like, yeah, no, this is all fucked up shit. It's actually also, there are videos of like parents saying their final goodbyes to their children as they go off to these protests, because it's now getting to a point where if you go to them, they're not expected to come back. At least it's not a high probability that you're coming back. And that's why they're like filming them, because they want to see the last time that they get to talk to their children or their family members. I believe there was a report where like, I think an 8-year-old child was like caught in the crossfire as like I think like the state police were like firing back, trying to like calm down the citizens themselves.
He was just a solid ass 8-year-old that was like, I don't stand for this.
Yeah.
Going to the protest, motherfucker. He wasn't caught in the crossfire.
Maybe.
He was probably shooting bow and arrows off of somebody's back. Like a
Well, like a little halfling style.
A little savage he was.
But like, as of now, there's no peaceful resolutions that are going to be popping up for how this is going to be solved out.
Word.
Well, the people are going to beat the cops. And then after they beat the cops, the government people are going to be scared. They might kill them.
Wasn't this month the
Yes.
stimulus package as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
$1.9 trillion
drop.
stimulus package. My man Bernard Sanders tried to
drop.
force a $15 minimum wage in there, part of the deal. But 6 fucking Democrats voted against it. I'm actually going to pull up that list of
Like fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Oh, you get a name call here?
I am
Name
gonna,
drop?
I'm going to name drop here.
Name dropping on the stimmy drop.
The thing that pisses me off about, and I know this is how they have to write, I don't know if it is, but the thing that pisses me off about a lot of those $15 minimum wage bills and stuff is that it's like, okay, $15.
It was 8 Democrats that voted no, actually.
But it's like $15 over the course of like 8 years. Like we'll gradually get up there. And it's like, well, what the fuck's it going to be worth then? Like nothing.
Not to mention there's everyone's like, oh, if everyone's getting $15 minimum an hour, wait for your chicken sandwich to be like $30. That's not how that works.
Yeah, people like countries.
At most, maybe 20 cents.
All right, so number 1, Senator Joe Manchin.
His last name's Manchin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sounds like a rich motherfucker.
Naturally, the guy named Manchin is voting no to giving you a livable wage.
What's the next one? Jonathan Yacht Ward?
That's a pretty good name. Kristen Cinema.
Kristen Cinema's a piece
Cinema?
of shit.
It is Cinema, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's
Are they all rich names?
she's what, the rep from Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a real piece of work. She used to be like a dumpster diving like vegan, but she fully renounced it and is instead just like a fucking awful politician.
And I want to bring up when she voted no on this, she like
Did she cry?
no, she flagrantly walked up to the Senate and was like, and then voted down like Caesar or some shit, like, but like with like all
that
the
just sounds like
all
somebody,
the pep
like,
and,
from, like,
energy of
fucking Mean Girl movie, like,
yes,
did.
no 100%.
It was very Mean
100%.
Girls.
Yes, that's what it was. It was very girl boss energy of her.
Energy.
Senator Jeanne Shaheen.
Don't know about.
That's New Hampshire.
Okay.
Maggie Hassan, also New Hampshire.
The fuck's happening in New Hampshire?
They hate
John
us.
Tester of Montana.
I feel like I've heard something bad about him, but I can't place
I mean,
it.
he's from Montana.
Yeah.
Tom Carper of Delaware.
Delaware is a fake state.
Okay, this guy, I'm pretty sure he's just supposed to be a Republican. His name's Chris Coons.
Again, I have also heard about this. Like, if these people are
I've
ringing
heard of
bells
Chris
about
Coons.
other bad shit they've done,
Where's
but
he
I just
from?
can't place it.
Delaware as well. So both
Again, a
Delawareans.
fake state.
Dude.
Dow Chemical owns that state. They don't even pay a fucking sales tax there.
And then Angus King, senator in Maine.
Again, last name King.
Maine's a wild card.
Yeah, Maine's
So
weird.
yeah, those are your 8 Democratic senators who voted no on the $15
What is
minimum
going on
wage.
in the East Coast?
Also, I just want to throw out the fact that literally no Republicans voted for the actual stimulus package or the $15 minimum wage. So
Zero
Shocker.
Republicans.
literally 0 Republicans.
They hate Americans.
But the Democrats can't even get their shit together to vote for the one good thing that comes through.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Also, to shit on Biden just a little bit more, privately, it is reported privately in discussions, even though publicly he was saying, I want there to be a $15 minimum wage. He was reporting to governors that, you don't got to worry about no $15 minimum wage. It's not going to happen. My boy Joe Manchin's going to shut it down.
Oh, his boy.
Well, he never said that. I added the my boy Joe Manchin because Joe Manchin is the one. He's essentially a
Joe
conservative
Manchin
Democrat.
dates his daughter.
He's a conservative Democrat that holds a lot of political power just because of, he's in the Democrat Party, but he's essentially a Republican.
Something happened with Hunter Biden. I feel like there's Hunter Biden news.
Not that I've heard lately.
Okay. Never mind then. I could be
I mean, the only other Joe Biden stuff I can bring in is him unable to use stairs.
Yeah. I saw that picture. His dog bit another person. for the second time in a couple months.
He did fall upstairs.
Yeah. I mean,
he's old.
They elected, like, what is he, the oldest guy?
I believe so.
I don't think he's older than Chuck, is he?
Norris?
Chuck.
Schumer?
Oh, no, I mean, he's
President.
the oldest president. Like, the oldest
okay.
first-term
Okay.
president.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's at least in the 70s now, right?
Yeah, he's...
Very much so.
That boy's been in his 70s.
All right. Does anybody have any other
He is the 70s.
items that they want to discuss?
There's
March was kind of sparse. I
probably
think
they killed all those Asian women. That was a big
Right.
thing.
Oh,
the
fuck.
shootings.
Yeah.
Oh, they killed. Oh, there was a
was
lot
two.
of shootings.
What, was one a cop shooting?
Oh, they also announced that they do want Biden specifically said he wants to try to take away assault rifles.
Oh, that brought it up. Biden. Well, there was laws passed in 7 states: California, Arkansas. That's the only ones I remember.
Okay. The only real states.
That
All the
that you're
stuff
not
happens in
allowed to
Arkansas.
carry any type of firearm.
That's not going to fly in Arkansas.
No firearm. And then another law passed that it is legal for the government to do no-knock search warrants to claim your guns.
That's illegal.
No, legal.
Oh.
It's legal for no-knock search warrants to claim your
saying
guns, to go in and take
not
the guns.
announcing yourself, caving in someone's door and saying, I want your gun, sounds like a really great way to get shot.
It sounds like a really good way to start the Civil War.
Yeah, like, I feel like if people were actually serious about this, like, you could, like, I don't know, stop the sale of fucking assault weapons or whatever that means, which is very little. But they're not doing that. They're doing the thing which is the absolute worst idea, which is taking them from people by force.
Yeah, no. The absolute worst idea of, let's expand no-knock raids, even though Breonna Taylor just died last year because of no-knock raids. The
most intrusive thing that the government can do.
Yeah, possible. Period.
So, because we did bring it up, I want to go back to the whole like salon shooting things that were happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, it was another case where like the cops got the angry white man who shot at minorities, and he must have been having a really bad day. What's happening in society that a normal guy like this just goes and does shit like this?
Oh yeah, that's the markings of a normal guy, someone who like fucking targets.
I'm just saying, like he became part of like the collage of other white men who were having really bad day that hurt a bunch of people.
Yeah, you're making a point here that that domestic terrorists are portrayed in a certain light, especially when they're white. I'm getting a call from Vermont right now.
Oh,
Mr. Sanders, yes. Yes, of course.
guys, it's time to go.
I am disseminating your propaganda, Mr. Sanders. Thank you.
The Cleveland Antifa cell is activated.
That was sexually motivated, right?
No, I think that was. Well, yes, it was part of
Because
that.
he was targeting massage parlors?
Yes.
I thought people saw it as a racially motivated thing.
Yeah, I think it's racially
I
motivated.
think two things can be real in this case.
I mean, it could be both.
Because
And
there's
also-
been Asian hate crimes that have been happening even besides this shooting.
No, all over the United States.
Because I saw a lot of people taking collages of newspapers and websites that were like, why is there so much anti-Chinese and anti-Asian hate right now? And then also pulling their exact same articles where it's like the dragon menace from the east. And
literally, like that. That's a funny thing about the whole fucking Stop Asian Hate campaign lately is that fucking. In the same breath that they're like, stop Asian hate, they're highly critical of China for fucking
everything.
yes, literally anything.
I mean, that's no different from like during like the Prohibition. There's like condensed like grape sellers that were like, hey, make sure you don't follow this exact process to make fucking wine.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Please, it would be very illegal
Do not
if you
follow
turned our
these
grapes into
8
wine.
simple steps that we've laid out on the back.
Don't take us seriously when we say that these are the reasons why every Chinese person is evil and wants to take your job. Like, the Chinese government's doing some real bad shit, but I don't think I've seen much worse than the shit we do on a fucking...
No. Like, it's there's an absolute joke to think that we're even close to how bad fucking that China's even close to how bad we are.
Yeah.
Well, China does have their own concentration camps that are holding on to Muslims, and
We have our own concentration camps that are holding on
To fucking
people from South America.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you're
Central
right.
Who lives in a glass
That's
house
my
should not
point.
throw stones. And I've also been seeing quite a bit of things about those supposed concentration camps. Admittedly, it's CCP propaganda. I've seen things saying like, oh yeah, no, we're not doing that to normal people. There are re-education camps, but they're for extremist people.
is that what China's saying?
Yeah, that's what China's saying.
I mean,
And then-
that's no different from like, you know, the Third Reich of we're trying to convert them from their Jewish ways to Christians.
Hey, I'm not saying that the Third Reich didn't take video of a concentration camp where people were playing soccer and shit while real concentration camps were happening. I'm just saying things I've seen.
the reporting I've on it seems kind of suspect. It could have progressed a lot since I looked at it last time. I remember a lot of stories were
coming from essentially one source.
Yeah. That weren't like that were just being disseminated across a lot of different papers.
Yep.
But like it's been a while since I checked in on that.
Like, even if it says like for extremists, like what do they consider an extremist?
Exactly. Like
People with
just as
violent
following-
ideology.
I mean, like, well,
No,
keep
like,
in mind,
that's what you
can be
consider-
arrested
No,
in China
that's
for
what-
like dissing the government in public. For speaking your mind about how current policies are is enough of justification to be arrested. So their version of extremist might be a little bit more loose than what anybody
They might
normally
be.
would consider.
it might be.
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, it's
Also, there was a mass shooting in
Colorado.
Boulder, Colorado, which is kind of
The
crazy.
grocery
'cause I was
store.
just out there, and it was just at a grocery store, which is even crazier.
damn, dude. That could have been you
Could have been me.
shopping at the
Were you
what kind
in
of grocery?
Boulder?
What kind of grocery
Was this
store?
also an Asian targeted one or no?
No,
No, he just was.
so I don't know too
What's
much
the
about
grocery
it.
store chain in Boulder?
I don't remember what
They got Kroger's out there.
Sounds about right. But
I'm trying to paint a picture.
I don't know what the store was called.
it's
actually.
weird with the Boulder grocery store shooting and the salon parlor shootings being so close together, because again, my main point about he had a bad day, followed with this being the one time like people will say, oh wow, they're not all white guys, because this was an immigrant from Syria who had shot at the grocery store. But keep in mind, that's not just like he's targeting a group of people. This was just an act of violence.
I'm surprised I haven't heard about this more from right wing media then. To
Just
be
want
real.
to point out, it's because Syrian people have to check the Caucasian box.
Oh.
They're actually considered Caucasian.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Any
from
Middle
the
Eastern-
where the word
Caucasus
comes from.
region.
Yeah, so they are white. So let's just put it like that.
I thought
Only white people shoot up shit so far.
Syrians
Again,
were
that's
generally
part of my
Middle
problem.
Eastern though, for real.
That's where the Caucasus are.
I thought that
Middle Eastern is Caucasian.
He's not wrong. It's where the word originates.
That's what I was just telling you. Like on the boxes, when they check paperwork off, they check Caucasian. That's what they're classified as.
I'm doing some real hard mental math here, but all right. Okay.
Doing the meme
there's
thing
no
where you see
numbers,
the
but-
fucking formula
Yeah, I'm
in
doing
front of
mental
your-
math on all letters. This shit's hard.
100%.
It's just all variables.
It is all variables. It is.
But again, like even then, like this is one of the few times where it's not just like somebody homegrown who's trying to improve their neighborhood by trying to get rid of those who they see as different. From what I've understood, this was an act of violence itself by someone who was definitely mentally unwell.
To take us off of that absolute horrible train of thought real quick.
Yeah. Let's derail that.
Biden is attempting to he wants to put together the policy equivalent of China's Belt and Road policy, which is going to be a horribly abject failure, and it's going to be hilarious.
Please define.
Okay, so do you know what the Belt and Road policy is?
I do not.
Okay, so the Belt and Road policy is that China is going around and investing a lot of money into different infrastructures around the world so that they can dominate trade over the next generation. Simple as that.
Essentially have a financial like colony inside of another country.
They're going to be owning the ports, railroads, things that are spanning fucking across the continent of Europe. They're already bailed out a few dictators, gave them a bunch of money. Fucking like, hey, yo, we own your shit though, and they're like, word. And they're pretty much just setting up a lot of different countries, a lot of smaller countries with really big loans that they're not going to be able to afford to pay back, just so China can be like, well, now we have control of this.
Okay, so it's
also
a method of financial annexation of other countries. With when it comes to dictators itself, it's essentially, hey, you can be a man-child king, do what the fuck you want. When it's time to collect our money, it's going to be our shit now. So enjoy the ride while it lasts.
Well, I think the bigger thing is also like we have a place to put all the shit we make. Like we're putting like a port that is big enough for all the ships we want to send you in everywhere in the world.
Well,
yes.
Like one of the things like China does right now, they literally have like random cities being built that have no intention of being popular. They're actually called ghost metropolises, where they're just doing it to actively keep the construction force constantly going.
Well, they're also doing that for they're looking to de-urbanize a little bit, like how they're all like stacked on top of each other in like some places. Like those ghost cities are like that's planned development for like the future. But that's getting way too far into China's policy,
China's economy
of running things.
So basically what America's trying to do is
copy China.
Yeah. They're trying at this point to get in where they fit in and be like, okay, well, we'll build some of your own ports, but we don't even have our own infrastructure here. So I don't understand how that's ever going to happen.
We're not making shit is the thing. We can't send you a fucking shipment of iPhones because we don't make the fucking iPhones.
True.
So this just kind of sounds like playing Risk, but Sopranos version where you're just kind of giving loans out.
We're just shipping corn out everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
take this corn.
It's okay. It's especially like the Sopranos in like the fact that
we know you're gonna fuck up.
Well, not even just that, but in the Sopranos, they always had a bunch of weird shit that they were doing. Like it was like always like a fucking like, oh yeah, here's a box of fucking TVs and DVD players.
Fell on the back of a truck.
Yeah, like I feel like that's very much what America is about to be offering to people. It's like fucking here's our trash.
Yeah, it's
actually Thailand. I think that was this month where there was like countries like Canada, the good people of Canada, U.S. and other like first world countries have been literally just sending trash through boats to just dump it into these like third world countries. And it got to the point where like, no, fuck you. They literally packed it back up and they sent it back to fucking Canada and the other countries. Like, this is your shit. Figure it fucking else out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is actually good for them. On that note, I think that we're ready for predictions.
Yeah.
Predicto.
How you feeling? What's your prediction here? Go on.
My prediction is that Mike Tyson.
Okay. I feel like a lot of your predictions have Mike Tyson in them.
At some point,
Not my last three. Mike Tyson is going to call out Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for not letting the kids out of the cages and then announce that he's running
President 2024?
for President 2024.
You couldn't at least say The Rock. I thought he was actually the one who had some murmurs behind him.
Fuck The Rock. Mike Tyson would be a way better president than The Rock.
I don't know if I buy that. I mean, I
The
don't
only
think The Rock would be
president
great,
that could
but
like intimidate the others.
Mike Tyson
Like,
is
I'd
a
love to watch a
beloved
debate between Tyson and Putin
figure.
because it just gave you them duking it out, and I want to watch that.
And Mike Tyson's been at the bottom, man, and at the top. The Rock has just been at the top.
All right. So the real question is here, right? Who's Mike Tyson's vice president?
Mike Tyson's vice president.
the guy whose ear he bit off.
Evander Holyfield?
Yeah.
Actually saw a funny meme about him. It was a picture
Jackson.
of him like,
Fuck yes! They got my vote!
who'd you pick?
Mike
50
Jack-
Cent.
Mike,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Tyson
Okay.
and 50 Cent.
That is an extremely baller ticket. That
Yeah, that ticket has my vote.
Vote or die.
I'd actually vote to repeal term
Vote or die.
limits to continue to vote for them for years on end. Like if I could get the
My dude's trying to give him the what they give the dude in China? Emperor Forever title?
oh yeah,
president for life.
yeah, the
Emperor Forever.
What?
supreme
Emperor.
dictator for life. I mean, that was a Napoleon thing. He was dictator for life. It was a Roman thing too. It's a whole thing.
Just
that's
because
my
we're
prediction.
slightly related topic, it's not my prediction, but I found out the previous and final emperor of China was when he was dethroned. Lucky for him, he wasn't the classic case of, oh, we're just going to put your head in a pike or something like that. Mind you, this was like in the 1920s. He was eventually, he could only get a job as a janitor and occasionally would sneak back into the Forbidden City. And he would show like other tourists, like, that used to be mine. This was my room previously. Like he'd be able to go around his old home now as like the lowliest peasant.
How'd the Chinese emperor get such a shitty deal while the fucking British king kingdom. Fucking they get to be just around still.
Because the British are cucks. They should have done the noble thing and fucking given him the Romanov treatment, but
But that's what I'm saying.
they
Like,
couldn't pull the
out
fucking
of all
trigger.
situations, his name was Payu. But he got like his head still on his shoulders. You could say at least reminisce depressingly.
Okay, the Windsor family got the best deal out of all former monarchs. Former
Oh yeah, they
ruling
get to be
monarchs.
pedophiles forever.
Yeah,
Gross.
for sure.
Like,
I mean,
good for them.
Yes, good for them.
No, that sucks. What's your prediction, Zach?
I feel like that unforeseen issues are going to pop up. That's going to prevent Biden's whole for that small portion of people like student loan forgiveness to be just buck. And then it's just going to be a constant cycle of, oh, we'll do it eventually. The same way that I would tell my mom that, oh, I'm going to do my homework at some point. It'll get done. Don't worry about it. Zach, why do you have a C in algebra? Oh, don't worry about it.
That seems pretty. I'd put money on that.
Biden reneges the offer, and all right, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
What's your prediction, Connor?
I'm gonna go for some sort of massive solar flare Carrington event situation.
Whoa!
Maybe that one where the poles.
Oh, the polls are going to flip?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for
flip and
that.
we grow unicorn horns.
No. Do you know about that
we
one
die.
where the magnetic
Magnetic north will become south and vice versa.
and every electronics thing will fry?
And we'll grow unicorn horns.
No, we fry.
No.
Because it's gonna affect the magnetic sphere, which prevents a certain amount of solar radiation from coming in and affecting the Earth. /1, burning up part of the ozone.
Yeah.
2, literally irradiating the weakest part of the sections. Imagine you're outside, you're playing with your kid.
You're
Whole
forgetting the
flip happens.
best part of this, though. We got it all wrong.
What do you
And
mean
when
you
it
got
does
all
happen,
wrong?
we all turn into static shocks with
Oh yeah.
fucking unicorn horns. And life turns into a whole nother thing than we ever knew it to be.
Antoine's losing it, man. He's
Yeah, no. I'm sorry to pop this bubble, but you'll die.
yeah.
It'll be a horrible, horrible death.
Yeah, so-
it's not going to be gentle in any fashion.
My money is on that, or like a massive solar flare that knocks out everything.
All the tech.
And then all the fucking nuclear reactors chain react and shit. That's my prediction for next month.
Okay, so my prediction for next month is it's gonna be a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy here.
Yeah.
Because I'm also going to work on organizing this all over the next month.
Yeah.
I'm going to organize several dozen of our listeners out here to help me steal several boats that are of similar size to that blocked the Suez Canal.
Okay.
And we're going to go around and block as many canals as possible.
Interesting.
Oh, you get to be Tom Hanks when he's a captain.
We want to
You get to be the captain now.
block as much world trade as possible. And in total, we'll stop a total of about 35% of world trade. It'll be great. Big things, big numbers.
Okay, so
gotta be
let
a
me.
couple canals.
Can
I
I
only know
back
about
this
2.
up with what would be your demands to unfix it?
Suez and Panama. Yeah, that's
Yeah, there's more canals than that, right?
there has to be. There has to be.
There are many canals, but I think the Panama and Suez are like the two.
Yeah, well, they're both getting blocked.
Panama's a nuts one. They're just like, what if we cut this country in half?
For real.
Dude.
I have no demands. I just want capitalism to end. So, the only way to do that is to slow it down. Shut it down.
Well, I don't know if this was you that posted, but I saw like a little comic cartoon that said, dude, you're not a capitalist. You don't have capital. You're not investing in anything. You're just a bootlicker.
Oh, I saw someone with a capitalist bumper sticker the other day.
That's
They look like
hilarious.
the coexist thing.
That's
like
hilarious.
Was it like different like dollar signs from different
One of
countries?
them, the C was definitely a hammer and sickle, like with an X over it, which is like, you can't even think your own iconography. You have
Right.
to be anti a different one.
Right. Oh. Well, on that note, that's not Java Tips, baby.
Hey.
Peace.
Later.